Fuck was that?
I don't know. I'm imitating Alan crying.
I'm crying like a little
So
bitch.
I feel like we're gonna be doing this like weird thing where we change our voices up the entire show.
I'm not.
You're unable to, sir.
I could do the fucking accent the whole time.
I am Alan. Dude, I want to practice doing your voice, man. 'Cause it sounds like relaxed to be that numb. You know what I mean? It's like, hey. Oh, I'm Alan Shakersy.
I have inflections. I get angry all the time. Y'all call me out for that shit.
But you know what's funny? Because even when you get angry, you just kind of like rise like, like you're still though. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Fuck you.
He's like right there, exactly. He's Nick, Fallen Kingdom. I hate
Yeah, Fallen Kingdom was one of the worst movies that year.
Oh, you know it's funny because we didn't get to finish that discussion yesterday about the Jurassic Park Dominion. Yeah, let me finish it right here. You were fucking wrong. Now moving on, people. Hi, how you guys doing? This is Double Toast pre-show. You know the chat text and everything. Oh, I just realized something. I forgot to change the name to the Twitch.
That's what you get for being a bitch and wrong about Dominion. By Dominion, I mean Fallen Kingdom.
We're not sure it's wrong yet, just to put that out there.
You were clear to say I was wrong, so fuck you.
Here's the thing, though. You basically talked a bunch of shit about Terminator Dark Fate, and you liked it.
I talked about it prior to the movie on the basis that every movie prior to it sucked. Well, or at least more Terminator movies that sucked that were good.
Yeah, by one, though, because there's only 5 movies. So there's 3 bad. You know, and there's
3
2
bad
good.
were in a row.
Okay, and there's 2 good in a row, and they're
yeah, and then it went 3 bad. Like it's not like it went like like Terminator 1 was like Terminator 1 was good, and then it went to like Salvation, then to 2. It went Terminator 1, which was like, hey, you know what, it was monumental for the time. Terminator 2 stands the test of time. Then 3 came out, and you're like, ooh.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna try.
Salvation, like, oh god.
I'm gonna pull Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and do like one of those call-in things right now. I'm gonna call in Roxy. Roxy, can you explain to this man that Terminator Rise of the Machines was actually not that bad?
It wasn't.
Why do you think it's bad? Obviously it's not like the best thing ever, but why do you think it's bad? Because I don't think it's that bad.
It's not. It actually isn't. It's decent. It has its problems. It started the problem that every Terminator movie after it had.
Moody?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm hearing myself. My bad.
Oh, well, that's probably my fault. I'm sorry, man.
It started the problem that every single Terminator movie has, including Dark Fate, where every Terminator movie contradicts the last Terminator movie and then tries to set up a trilogy and then inevitably fails. Mm-hmm. Every Terminator movie has tried that after too, where, oh, hey, what do we do in Terminator 2? Well, we solved it with Judgment Day. Skynet is dead. We made sure everything is gone. What's the next movie? John Connor grew up. Oh, wait, turns out that's not the case. We have to actually go. And what's the twist this time? It's your kids that are going to be important. But there's also another twist where we're going to hide you in this whatever the fuck as we solve whatever problem's going on. What happened to Salvation? We're just going to completely ignore the last movie even happened and do a prequel where we just do whatever the fuck we want and fuck the timeline. Then, but that was supposed to start a trilogy as well, which went fucking nowhere because as soon as they beat Skynet in that one, it was like, well, actually, that wasn't the only threat. That gets completely ignored when Genesis comes out. And fuck it. All the timelines are just converging into one mass. And, well, we set up a bunch of bullshit here so that we could do more stuff. And then all this stupid shit has been happening. What happens next movie? That never fucking happened. So what does Terminator Dark Fate do? It just ignores the last bunch of movies come out. It's the direct sequel to fucking 2. It just happens to be a fucking good movie this time.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean, and like I said, like those things are not arguable because yeah, that's exactly what fucking happened. But at the same time, I just feel like, you know, when it got to the third one, it's like, listen, this story, obviously, just before we even see the movie, there's no way that they can continue this Judgment Day thing and, you know, basically retcon the movie right before it. And we're going to be accepting of this. So let's just have fun. Let's just have a bunch of action. And Terminator 3 did just that. Now, Salvation, I'm not going to argue with you. That's a piece of fucking garbage. I hate that fucking movie.
I think it's the worst one.
But here's the thing with Salvation that was really wrong with it, too, is that, you know, the reason why that movie ends up the way it ends up, especially with Kyle Reese, is because the first Terminator, and by the way, I have to say this, I know that everyone accepts the first Terminator as being a good movie, but good God, that movie's not great. Just like the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Those two first subs, I feel like people are just like, they're almost like, you have to say they're good because they spawned this entire franchise. Like, honestly, if you were to choose right now to watch any fucking Freddy Krueger movie, where would like the first one end up? Like, That'd be like your fourth choice, maybe.
No, it'd be my second. I actually legitimately liked the first one a lot. And you can't sit there, at the time, that movie came out 20 years before I was born. I only watched it like 2 years ago. There's no bias you could possibly throw at it. Because I don't even like horror movies. So the fact that I liked it means there must have been something there of quality. Honestly, like, I didn't really like the second one. The third one, Dream Warriors, I think is a cooler concept than the actual movie it is. A New Nightmare to me is good, is really good. It's probably one of the better ones. 4, 5, and 6 are fucking terrible. So there's only really a couple good one anyway. So if anything, it'd be like, yeah, I'd watch the first one, then I watch New Nightmare, and then I watch Dream Warriors in that order.
People in the chat are probably wondering why are we even in this subject. The reason why is because, like, I'm actually going to make this all still kind of go within what we were talking about yesterday with Jurassic Park Dominion, where I'm like, that Jurassic Park's like the only franchise where I feel like the first movie actually was like the best one. Like, still, because it was
Die Hard.
Oh, go ahead.
Die Hard.
Oh, Die Hard too. Yeah, you're right. Die Hard was really good too. But Joe, I was gonna ask you, like, do you agree with me at all with the Terminator and Nightmare on Elm Street? Like, do you feel like some people kind of overly hyped the first ofs because they built franchises?
I mean, I haven't seen the other Terminator movies. How many did I see? I saw.
But you've only seen one Terminator movie?
No, I saw. No, actually, I saw three. But I keep forgetting that I saw the first one because it's so forgettable.
Thank you, because it is. It's just once upon a time a horror movie character walks around, instead of a machete or a fucking glove, he has a gun.
The acting was terrible.
But the thing is, it's like, I don't think the first Terminator movie, this is godsend on movies. I still think it's a good movie. It has some of the most memorable lines. The "I'll be back," like, everyone quotes that. Check out the police shooting out. All that stuff in there was really interesting. People are always gonna put the nostalgia of, it was the best thing at the time, but I don't fucking put that. Like, I've never been one of those. It was good at the time. It was. You can't take that away that it was monumental at the time, but how do you watch it 20 years later and still try to give that point?
I mean,
it's very difficult.
As an adult, I like the first one better than the second one now.
Nah, that second one is
I'm surprised.
peak.
No, the first one I like because character is a horror character to a certain extent. And I get what you're saying, like, you replace him with like machete or he's just Jason and stuff like that. But honestly, not for me. Like, I like the character dynamic of this woman basically figured out the world is not what it seems, and that she's basically going to be like the mother of this like savior that's going to save the world, and they got to avoid this. I'm gonna load the camera because it's like I'm like, oh, it's like,
yeah,
fuck you.
But it just always felt to me more grounded. Plus, you can't beat that scene when the motherfucker walks in. I'm looking for Sarah Connor. Oh, give me a second. I'll get you somebody. I'll be right back. And he comes crashing through and like just start gunning down police officers left and right. Especially back then, like that was the first time you really saw a character to that degree take on police officers, and that be the staple of his character. Is like, hey, I kill what the society deems unkillable.
I guess I don't even think it was being that deep. I think it's like.
But the thing is, it's like those moments are iconic. Those moments stood the test of time. There's a lot of moments in that movie that people remember a lot. Like, yeah, Terminator 2 has way more. Has the truck scene, which almost every fucking action movie at this point is ripped off.
Oh, God.
Has the whole arm scene. Like, there are iconic moments in both those two movies, but there are a lot of good stuff that people remember, especially that defined Arnold's career in that one, that are still good. Like you just said, the police shootout, even the lead up to the police shootout, is really, really good.
And I would like to add a little bit more to it because you had mentioned that it's not that deep. No, it's really not that deep. But it's one of the first few times, like, think about it. Every time we have like a monster character, except for maybe the Blob in the early days, they never go against the whole police department. It's always one sheriff for maybe 5 or 6 sheriff division out there in some Hoboken town that the best weapon they got is a goddamn shotgun.
Yeah.
Terminator was going against police officers that pulled out their fucking assault rifles.
Yeah.
It was showing that he's a monster that can't be stopped by the people that we are supposed to look at like, oh yeah, Jason ain't gonna have shit if the SWAT shows up. Terminator don't give a fuck if the SWAT shows up.
Yeah. But like one thing I liked about it too is like, the idea of having to do what you gotta do to succeed on whatever you're fucking doing. Like the idea that he has his mission, I gotta save John Connor, and John's like, listen, I'm gonna give you this parameter of not killing cops. Do not kill people. It's fucked up. And the fact that he comes out there and that scene where he just shoots like grenade, like they're not actually grenades, like smoke grenades, but the way he's like shooting the cops with them and shooting them in the leg with a pistol, it was more brutal, and yet no one died. And it's like, but how do you pull that off? That's so cool. Like, go ahead.
The thing is I agree with you because the second one, the second one is monumentally better. If the first one's like a 6, the second one's a fucking 9. but it builds on what made the original good is when you have that the unkillableness of Arnold that was established in the first movie, because you got that level of we know how powerful Arnold can be because we saw him walk into a police station, like Gon just said, heavily armed with every single modern equipment they had at the time and win. So we know that another Terminator we know that when these two Terminator fights, it is the most powerful machines ever built fighting amongst each other. So that ends up being so when you have a situation where we have a good guy, that same person that just shot up this police station is on your side, the audience gets a sense of safety almost because we know how powerful he can be. But when we see a police officer basically with the same powers or even more powers, now you're scared because you know what can happen. So you have no idea if this kid's going to survive. But you needed to establish all of that stuff in the original for you to enjoy it in the second one. It's the complete opposite problem that The Matrix has. The Matrix is a monument. The first Matrix is a monumental movie that's, for me, stands the test of time and does a lot of crazy stuff. The second one is like, oh, fuck it. We're going to go crazy, but we're going to have no nuance.
And then I like to say, I'm kind of glad that I saw the Terminator films with my dad outside of the movie theater or outside, it being hyped on television with trailers and shit. Because the trailers, I've seen the trailers later on, they straight up spoil the reveal scene when Arnold's not... Yeah. That's supposed to be a big moment for the audience to be like, oh, it's on now, bitch. We got our own Terminator. But that got spoiled in the trailers real fucking quick.
Terminator movies have a bad history of that.
Yeah, every single one was really bad with that shit. Dude, especially Terminator 5 Genesis. Hey, by the way, the big twist is this. It's like, dude, that happens in the last 20 minutes of the movie. How are you going to fucking spoil
a twist?
Yeah, that is rough, dude. The big spoiler for me was the fact that the movie wasn't going to be good. Because I was like, if you're that, comfortable spoiling your own movie, then this must be fucking awesome. The twist is the movie is average at best.
It's a lot of people didn't like it, but to me, I was like, it was fine. After Salvation, man, at this point, if you're not as bad and boring as Salvation, I'll give you a pass. Because Salvation to me is straight up the worst.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though, people. We'll get off the whole Jurassic Park and Terminator of it all and everything. But I do want to bring up something that obviously I put the thumbnail up, so of course I want to talk about this more so than anything else. Apple TV Plus. Do you remember them?
No.
Neither do I. And the reason why is because
I think they had one show with Jason Momoa.
Yeah, it was called C or something.
Something C or Blind or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was the only thing I ever heard from him, and I just kind of ignored them.
Yeah, and it sucks that they didn't kind of keep going. And I feel like, I'm not gonna blame everything on the coronavirus or whatever, but it's sometimes that is a situation. Maybe people are like, hey, fuck that, I can only afford so much. I'm not gonna be doing this fucking Apple Plus thing. But
maybe.
We're in a situation though that I think they're about to hit a particular demographic that might make sense because now they're bringing back go to a Fraggle Rock. There's this show called Fraggle Rock. Rock
Down
Out.
in Fraggle Rock.
I don't know what the hell Fraggle Rock is.
So
it's that puppet shit.
Yeah, it's called Rock On, by the way. I said Rock Out. No, it's Rock On. I'm doing my typical fucking metalhead. Rock on, bro. Yeah. But the thing is, though, look, I know that Ryan's in the chat probably, and he's probably gonna get this he's gonna get mad when I say something like, "Hey man, this is for fucking kids," blah blah blah. It's like, no, adults can like it too, so I'm not gonna judge you. But my whole thing is yeah, kids are gonna like the idea of puppetry. They're gonna like that it's kind of lighthearted and fun or whatever. And I don't think people are putting out enough content for kids right now because you gotta think about this too. Kids are not going to school, and even if they do start going to school again right now, after May, school's out. You know what I mean? Why aren't people doing more of this type of shit in general? Dude, if I was somebody that was involved in that shit, I would get rights to Sesame Street. I will fucking bring.
Well, they're already owned by different people and different stuff and airing in different places. It's like they're bringing back Fraggle Rock because they probably were able to afford the rights to it, and they're like, yeah, we know kids will be at least somewhat interested in it if we make it colorful. But a lot of the kid stuff is still being aired. They're either doing new episodes or they're just doing it in syndication. But it's there are very few kid stuff that's not being owned up by somebody because people will still watch it. Yeah, HBO. We're on the chat saying HBO owns Sesame Street, so they're still doing shit.
Yeah, Matthew's saying Fraggle Rock more like Fraggle Cock. No, don't do that.
Down on the Fraggle Cock.
You know what's funny though is back in the day, Peter Jackson did his own puppetry movie, and it was sexualized as fuck. It was
Peter Jackson's weird.
Meet the Feebles.
Yeah, that's what it was. Oh my god, I can't believe you remember that.
I can't believe someone watched that movie and said, "Yeah, we'll give this guy $200 million to make Lord of the Rings."
Oh, dude! Speaking of that, he did Brain Dead, which is literally the goriest movie. It's not even subjectively gory. It's this is officially the goriest movie that's ever been out, the bloodiest. Gallons and gallons of blood was made in that movie, and yet still they give him Lord of the Rings afterwards. It's fucking insane. I don't know.
Yeah,
how.
like again, who saw this movie and said, "Yeah, this guy should get the most monumental cinematic feat up to this point."
Mauricio, bad taste, dude. I used to have dreams about the cover of that. I'm gonna show you something really quick. Not to get off topic a little bit, but Peter Jackson did this fucking thing called Bad Taste. It's this horror movie, and I don't even know what it's about. But this fucking cover scared me in a movie in the Blockbuster. I was walking around looking at horror movies, and dude, like something about him not only being so scary and having a gun, but also flipping me off. I was like, I mean, dude, I went home and I just kept dreaming about this dude chasing me.
He looks like a chicken nugget that went bad.
Yeah,
that's how it went bad. Like he like joined a gang and shit and went up the criminal ladder.
Yeah, it looks like the Moonlight Man's balls.
We talked about this before. It reminds me of the Silence from Doctor Who. They wear the same suit and the same kind of skin color and the weird face. Like they look very similar.
Yeah, man. But no, this shit's pretty disturbing. By the way, Roxy, do you remember Peter Jackson's horror stuff at all? Because I don't know if I missed anything, and usually you know more than me about this stuff.
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because look at this shit. I mean, like, would you be down to watch any of this stuff, Rox? Watching all this prosthetic horror work here?
You mean the scary ballsack, like, hick-looking dude?
Mm-hmm.
You fear these balls, babe?
Oh,
I feel like he has elephantitis of, like, the nuts.
Elephantitis? What the fuck is elephantitis?
It's basically when a part of your body won't stop growing. Mm-hmm. So his nuts can have that. At least he looks like it. Like he looks like he got some saggy ass nuts.
I just like that too. He's like, "Fuck you, then, bitch. I don't look like no nutsack."
My nuts too low.
Look at his chin. His chin looks like a fucking Cheeto ball sack just chilling right there.
Dude, he does look like a crunchy Cheeto. I just want to like fucking take a fucking taste, bro. Just...
No, he looks like one of the cavity creeps, bro. If he got like a fucking AK from San Andreas. He about to go blast us some vatos and fucking cavities.
No, but it's just crazy that Peter Jackson like dabbled in all this crazy shit before, something that's goofy and I mean I feel fantastical. Sorry if I'm insulting anybody, but like yeah, I didn't like Lord of the Rings at all. So yeah, man.
Okay.
But you know, you look at something like Fraggle Rock, or I'm about to say Fraggle Rock. Fucking keep fucking up this goddamn name. But yeah, like right now, lots of kids are probably watching lots of things at home. Disney movies and all that stuff with Disney Plus. But I'm thinking too, like what if PBS had some kind of streamlined type thing going on? Like, if you guys were kids today versus when you guys were kids back in the day, what are some shows that you feel like as a kid you'd be binge watching the most and kind of enjoying the quarantine with?
Oh, everything I couldn't get because I was in Canada. There's so many shows that were on Cartoon Network, but they're Cartoon Network America, where I just straight up wasn't able to watch till years fucking later. Like, I wasn't able to watch Courage the Cowardly Dog more than a random episode that somehow made its way to Canada. Or Samurai Jack just stopped airing at a certain point.
I'm surprised you didn't have this, by the way. Yeah, because this is so popular. I'm surprised you didn't have Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I watched a couple episodes, and I genuinely enjoyed it because it was weird as fuck. But there was a lot of Cartoon Network that just stopped airing in Canada. Then by the time it aired again, what's up?
Like, y'all get cartoons, and it would be catered to y'all, but it's all based around like malls and like tweens and teenagers like hooking up, and like the most wild thing out of the cartoon is like maybe they'll do some like wacky animation when the character like hurts themselves or something. But the vast majority of the time, it could just be a live action like teenage show. There's no reason for it to be animated. And Canada pumped out a shitload of those.
I fucking hate 16.
I'm not even talking about 16. I like
that one was specifically like made for Canadians because it was set in the Edmonton Mall and they're all Canadian. Like,
no, but like you had like shitty like CGI cartoons that were even based around that.
Yeah, because it doesn't look too bad. I'm looking at this right now. 16.
It's really boring. You kind of watch it, you're just like, I don't really.
I was gonna say this seems like a very puncturable fucking like animation here. Like I feel like we can all make our own versions of this if we wanted to. Because like look how small, or not small, but look how basic the fucking the caricatures are. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean we can do that.
Yeah, that's watching as a kid. I'm like, there are better things that I'm able to somehow make its way to America. They're way better stuff. So by the time Cartoon Network was able to come over here, it's like I was watching way better shit. That I'm like, 16 is lame. Like I watched a bunch of episodes because I'm like, to me 16 is the animated version of Friends.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I tried to watch it and I never understood why anyone liked it.
Yeah, man. Bad Boy's talking about he loved Total Drama Island.
Oh, that was another one. I fucking hated that show too.
Yeah, Code Loco.
Had nudity in it.
Did it?
Wait,
yeah. There's a shit. Was it the end episode, babe, or was it like towards the season finale of the first one?
It was more towards like the end of it because I remember it was Heather. Heather lost her top in the middle of like some kind of challenge thing going on. Like a tree branch was just hanging down and then just ripped her top off.
They didn't show no titty, but the characters acted like they recognized titty was shown.
Yeah.
Yeah, how old are these characters again?
I mean, they're on an island. They're probably
16, 17.
Total Drama Island, they're supposed to be almost adults, right? Like 18,
Probably.
20.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah, no, especially after this.
I hope so too, just for that part of the show.
Yeah.
No, because again, that was another one of those shows where I'm like, yo, I got over Survivor, man.
And before people start screaming in the chat, well, it's 16 in Canada, though. That's a different. No, we're Americans. We hold you by American standards.
Oh,
Stop
that
being
reminds
nasty.
me. Okay, so the show 16 had a character who one of the female characters consistently lost her top all the time, to the extent where they had to do the censoring instead of like using some sort of like object in the way. They would have to censor her chest. It happened all. Yeah, her.
Jim Masterson.
Every fucking time. Yeah. It was random too, where it would always just happen like at least 5 times over the course of the series, and I just realized, oh yeah, they're all 16.
Well, because the show's called 16. You know.
Yeah, but it didn't click to me that it happened until one of you guys said it. I'm like, why does that sound familiar? Oh wait, that show I was talking shit about had that happen like 8 times.
Yeah. Oh man, but no, like that's just a fucking weird thing.
Y'all were very interested in 16 tits.
Hey, I was like fucking 12 when that came out. So
the thing
you
is,
can't
though,
get
is
mad
that-
at me.
You're not the adult making it, but the adults, I'm asking questions. What the fuck?
the biggest
Yeah,
thing too
it was
is like to think about this is like what fucking adult would be watching a show called 16 anyways? Like as soon as an adult person starts watching this, I got questions right away. Same thing with Victorious and iCarly. Like I know some people that were actually into iCarly that were grown ass men, and it's just like, dude, like come on, you got tons of sitcoms out there, like you don't
Oh,
relate
like
to
the
any of these little
producer
girl problems.
allegedly.
Wait, what
Like the
happened?
producer allegedly. With
Oh,
his
yeah,
foot
that's
fetish.
Yeah. Yeah, do you ever feel that, Roxy, about Victorious and iCarly? Like, would you judge a guy who's grown watching that kind of shit?
Yes, immensely.
Okay, me too. And I don't feel like we're wrong for that. Like, I'm not trying to, like, judge people or whatever. But it's like, when people
It's like
do
like
that,
what you like, but like why are you watching a show with people who are supposed to be like 15, 16, whatever? What? It can't be for the comedy. Are you there for the feed?
well, there's no relatability. It's like, what issue you gonna have? Like, oh my god, my mom will let me go outside today. It's like ridiculous. It's like, what fucking grown bearded man's gonna watch that and go like, oh man, I wonder if she's gonna be able to go outside, bro. It's like, no. It's
Well,
not
what about grown woman?
No, that's okay.
What the hell?
What?
Look,
I'm actually in the minority where I thought both those shows were funny as shit.
I
Look,
think certain
I'm
people
kind
are-
of with Jed. Not that I ever watched the shows, but like, look, I'm not gonna sit there like because someone brought up My Little Pony, and I've never watched it myself.
Not for me.
What, My Little Pony's no for you? That's where you cross the line, Jet?
Yeah, I watched an episode of that shit was not entertaining. It's pretty to look at, but that was not entertaining.
It probably
However,
takes
like
a while.
iCarly, you can have like Spencer doing some stupid shit, and that got a lot of laughs out of me. Or like Victorious with them doing like some sort of spoof on like what are the names of those people that are always breaking like celebrity news and shit?
Oh yeah,
TMZ?
like TMZ and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, TMZ when they spook TMZ. Like that episode, I thought was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, no, I
Like-
agree with that too. But go ahead, Alan.
I won't. But I guess I say I won't like because again, My Little Pony, all those shows in there. I won't begrudge someone. If someone tells me like, hey, they're my age, saying, oh, I watch those shows. Look, okay, whatever. If I don't know you, then it's like, okay, I'm not gonna think that. If I know you as a person, then I'll already have a judgment of who you are prior to watching those shows, so I can continue to make a judgment. Like, my niece and nephew loved what was that fucking Miley Cyrus show? Hannah Montana. I watched it with them. That show's fucking hilarious. That show is amazingly hilarious for the random.
That one I couldn't find funny. Like Miley Cyrus got on my last nerves.
Miley Cyrus was okay, but her brother was the dumbest motherfucker in the world. But his adventures were always hilarious. So it's like, yeah, I found something to enjoy in that show, even though it's like, yeah, they're a bunch of high school students, and I was at that point, I was in college, so it's like, okay, whatever. But I found some enjoyment out of it. I wasn't able to watch it on my own just because it was always on television. I'm not going to go out of my way to fucking download it.
Mhm.
But if I liked it enough, I probably would have, just because it was still an entertaining show. You don't always have to relate to the characters on screen to be able to enjoy something. Sometimes you find something genuinely funny. Sometimes they're going through enough crazy stuff. Like Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. That's all about like middle school And I was watching that shit in college, and I fucking love that show. That show's amazing. That's
That
one of
show's
my
great,
favorite
but the romance shit actually got on my nerves.
Yeah, it always does.
One thing I want to bring up too about this, because like, here's the thing: we should be ending already because Corey already started, but he didn't tell me to do any Dropbox stuff. So we're just gonna, fuck our average views, fuck everything. We're just gonna shoot the shit for a little bit. And I'm gonna take this opportunity since pretty much no one's watching, so I don't have to get yelled at. I have to start.
Ready.
Yeah, sorry. It's like I'm really gonna get in trouble. I judge male cosplayers who go to My Little Pony places. I'm sorry, but when girls like that, she looks pretty young, and he looks. I will say that he looks kind of young too. All right, but there is some guys there. There are some big, overweight motherfuckers, and they're around little girls, like little 12-year-olds, 15-year-olds. And the thing is, like, because they're dressed like the pony, sometimes lots of things are kind of exposed. And if I'm a big-ass dude, big, hairy, sweaty-ass dude in a fucking pony costume going like, hey, little girl, do you like that character too? Yeah, whatever the fuck ponies make. That's strange. You should be on the list. If I was a parent, I'd be looking at you all the whole time just expecting you to do some weird shit so I can come beat your fucking ass right out of that fucking costume.
So basically, every pony who goes to these conventions and stuff like that, you think are weird.
Yeah.
All right, so I get where you're coming from. I really do.
Uh-oh.
But it's for a different property.
What is it?
What?
I got that with Steven Universe fans.
Oh God! Well, y'all are gonna get shot.
Damn
tonight.
it! We're gonna go.
Y'all are gonna get shot tonight.
Every one of their cosplays based on their sexuality or whatever fucking polymorphous shit they're into. They always got to mention that they're into the certain song of the fucking show that gives their crystal energy power. And there are always people in their mid-30s to 40s running around talking about, I'm part of the crystal gems. Be friends forever. What the fuck my song is.
But I don't feel like it's perverted. I feel like
It
you
is.
don't like
You
it.
see the dudes.
Well, okay. Like, I'm trying to see the dudes here. Because here's the biggest thing about it. Oh, shut up, Alarm. This phone fucking sucks. But
no one heard it, so you're good.
I know, but I just have anger issues. I gotta see a therapist. If anyone in here is a therapist, hit me up. I need to get some free therapy. But anyways,
sure. Let's do it right now.
Fuck you, Alan. You're the worst.
Pay me, though.
We'll pay you in bits.
You'd be the worst fucking therapist, Alan.
I know, he'll start
Fuck you
crying
too.
about my story before I'm finishing my shit.
You would yell at somebody for not following your instructions. Like, how fucking dare you not get mad about this?
Hey, and in Nick's case, it might work.
No, and Alan,
He
too,
tends
in
to
my
respond
therapy session,
positively to
Alan's gonna be
anger.
like, 2 years ago, you called me short. Oh, I'll never get over
Dude,
that.
2 years ago, 2 minutes ago.
Alan.
Mauricio, yeah, you got a point. Gary is a brony, but he's been a fan of us for the last 4 years we've been doing this. He's heard us talk all kinds of shit about bronies. He ain't leaving.
Yeah, and plus, too,
And he's also weird as fuck. I would never want to be in the same state as that dude.
yeah, but really quick before I can continue, Bad Boy says, as a furry, he will say he will never, ever, ever wear a fursuit, never go to a con, never dress up because he always found that stuff is uncomfortable. And as someone who loves, what is it? Friendship is magic. He only ever bought one toy. Well, here's the thing: if you're into it and you buy all the toys and everything, I would never don't feel embarrassed. And plus,
What kind of toy?
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm assuming he means children toys, not sex toys.
Because you put time 3 in there. Are you talking one of those big giant ponies?
No, it's supposed to be a fucking smiley face, dude.
Oh, okay.
I'm just thinking with all this My Little Pony talk, it's yep, my pony.
They got
All right.
and body pillows that go through that kept
Mm-hmm.
They put X2, X3 and shit for the size of the figurine.
Yeah, but no. The thing I'm thinking about this though is keep in mind that I am one of these judgmental dudes that's a huge asshole. So don't be offended. Seriously, I don't want to lose anybody by talking about this shit. But it's you're talking about Steven Universe. I mean, I'm looking at situations kind of like this where I see your point. This dude over here with the shorts, or actually is that a guy or girl? I don't know. But
That's a girl.
She'll tell you, and she'll be offended if you guess it wrong.
But here's the biggest thing though, is that even on the show, there's no genders. So it's
no, there's genders. The fan base will tell you genders exist, and they will specify very abruptly and very mean about how they see the genders in these different characters. They're on the same level other fan groups like Star Wars and shit, where they bully people to the point of suicide and shit.
I
In terms of the show, none of the gems have genders. They just use her pronouns.
Yeah, because and even that, I agree with Jet because I watch a show and they do explain that, but at the same time, just that particular sentence, I can understand people get mad.
Look at these Stevens, bro. Come on.
I think we're looking at images and we're judging and throwing our own
Oh,
prejudices.
hell yeah,
in
this is
some
100%
cases,
judging the book by the cover. Don't act like we're going deep undercover dive of the Steven Universe
Yeah,
and
no,
Brony
I don't
community.
want to do that.
at the
Hey,
end of
Sean,
it, I think that people should be allowed to express whatever fandom they want to be a part of, whatever case they want to be a part of, as long as they're not going, bordering racial lines. Like, hey, I'm a white person, I'm gonna go dress up as CJ from San Andreas. Like, no, you have to have your fucking limits. If you want to wear a muscle shirt and go bald, okay, and wear the fucking baggy shorts he was wearing, sure, go ahead.
But my
You
thing
could
is,
do.
well, because no one's even saying against that. It's just the idea of like the context of a grown man in the same place as a little girl, and even though you can't do that at McDonald's playground, for some reason these fucking cosplay things, it's kind of like, oh well, it's fine because they both like ponies. It's like, dude, if I was like, not to be really, really fucking risky right now, but if I was a pervert, it'd be so simple to just say, what's that pony shit the little girl's into? Okay, I'll just buy one of those costumes and then go to one of these places. I could be the biggest pedophile in the fucking world. And if they ask me questions, no, I like ponies. Oh, sir, we don't want to judge you for liking your stupid pony shit. So go ahead and hang out with the little girls. That's fine.
And much
Try not
like
to
you
fuck
walking
them.
into a McDonald's playpen, there's security that if they catch you being suspicious, they'll say something. There are a lot of security at these places, if not more so than regular ones, because there are that is a risk. That's always going to be a risk no matter where you end up going. Maybe it's even an increased risk at some of these cons, which is why you have the security there to ensure that doesn't happen. And if you are bringing a child to one of these cons, that a large majority of the fan base is probably not the intended audience. Like, the people that are paying the bills for these cons are the people that are older than the kids. Like, they are the ones that are buying the merchandise. They're the ones that are paying for the tickets. And I don't know why Roxy's laughing her ass off right now.
Because I got it. Y'all said y'all had something controversial. I got something controversial.
What's that?
I don't like people that sympathize with the Joker or that
Yeah,
try
fair.
to take like any kind of movie character and be like, yes, this is what society is like. This is why I cheated on my girlfriend because the fucking Joker like inspired me to do this. I can't stand that shit. Or when people in horror movies, like for example, take your standard like first off like horror movie that came out, like Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy. How are people so quick to excuse those movies as just boring, standard trash, and then you push movies like fucking The House That Jack Built as like artistic, visionary, cinema genius just because it has quick flashes of fucking art in it?
Yeah.
It still has gore. It's gory as fuck. They shoot a child and you see his leg fly off, and then he does the thing with where like, okay, spoiler, small spoiler, kind of
I
sort
ain't
of.
gonna watch it.
It's fucking gory. So there's this one scene where dude from the movie Jack, he takes like a mother and the two kids to like a gun range. And if y'all don't want to hear it, leave. And then he's like trying to show off like the guns and how cool they are and shit. And he's talking about how if you shoot the mother, like the kids will live, they'll fend off for themselves. So if you shoot the kids, the mother's not going to have anything to do, like as long as she lives, because her pride and joy just up and left and died. That's them.
Mm-hmm.
So dude shoots the one kid in the leg, kills him. Then the little brother pops out from his hiding place, shoots him in the head, and you see this in gory detail. So the mother is just distraught. She loses her kids, her whole livelihood, and then the dude comes up to her and forces her to, like, he has like a picnic set up. The dude forces the mother to feed her dead children like food from like a daily picnic, as if this is just fucking natural. Then he kills the mother after asking her her favorite number.
Jesus.
And this is regarded as like fucking high art. There's a big amount of gore in there, but it's regarded as like a higher, more artistic, better version of a horror movie, just because it has art, like flashes of art in it, and they talk about human nature and why women are weak and fragile and sheep and all this other shit. How come this is held up in fucking high regard just because you show a picture of the Mona Lisa's fucking twat just on the fucking screen for 2 minutes?
Yeah. No,
People are up their own asses and they want to go back to the prestige of Hollywood, where all movies were art, as opposed to every movie was always trying to be is just trying to get some money.
Yeah.
I hate people that do that shit where they always hold old Hollywood in high regard. Like, this was the golden age. This was the best thing ever. Nothing can ever top it. Y'all do realize there was a lot of fucking shady ass shit that happened behind the scenes of all your fucking favorite golden age, golden era Hollywood
So much
movies.
pedophilia.
Yeah, pretty
Y'all
much.
need to shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. Like pedophilia, people were raped, people were drugged, people were fucking pushed beyond their fucking reasonable limits just to get them or like a certain reaction that they wanted in their movies and on film. Y'all need to sit the fuck down with that.
Yeah. And it's almost like one of those things where I feel like sometimes passions for old Hollywood is kind of taught, like in film school and shit. Like, dude, listen, we can't relate to this shit. We can't relate to the old actresses like Joan Crawford. Oh, Johnny, no! Just like the over dramatic, silly fucking shit. Yeah, you know, it's like we can't relate to that, but we were taught in school, hey, by the way, this is what you should be doing. This is what was successful. Dude, it was successful because no one even knew what fucking movies and shit was back then. It was a new thing. Like, we've moved on.
Yep.
Teach us about the new shit. Teach us how to create, not to fucking mimic. And it's like no one ever understands that. That's something I have an issue with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Half the jokes are in the movie, even though they can be funny, but it's like writing off of shit that either happened in real life already and expectations that you think is going to happen, especially with the Charlie Manson killings and all that stuff. But then also, like, it's hanging on the idea of, oh, do you guys like the 70s? Well, we're going to play 70s music and just pretend that you're in the 70s again during this movie. Or look at, Margot Robbie's character, Sharon Tate. I forgot her name.
Oh, Sharon Tate doesn't do a goddamn thing in that movie.
Yeah, but Alan, she watches herself in the movie, and it's
Literally
really her.
does nothing besides watch a movie and then does she do anything else? I think she walks.
She needs
a
to
couple
take
times.
her feet off the fucking furniture. Do you know how
Yeah.
disrespectful that is and how disgusting it is to put your fucking bare feet
Where's
on a
Fox?
fucking public chair, bitch?
First off,
Yeah, man, and it's just like, and yeah, I get it, she's beautiful and everything, but it's like,
I'm gonna say, okay, fuck it, controversial opinions. Margot Robbie is all right at best. Is she a wonderful actress? Yes, I've seen her in stuff where they let her act, not just have her naked in a bathtub. But is she attractive? She is like a 6. I'm sorry, but like, if this idea that she's like this fucking sex symbol, I don't fucking get. I think she is all right.
my whole thing is like, because I agree.
Yeah.
I don't give a
Okay, Alice.
I don't give a
That's a
shit.
hell of a way to put. You can just say like, yes, she's beautiful, but I personally don't like the hype around her. You straight up said this bitch ugly.
No.
She a stain.
See, Alan, this is why you don't let
You got dirty ass toes.
Alan. This
I mean,
is why
he
they don't
does.
let you fight Wonder Woman anymore in the Harley Quinn series.
Look,
All right.
I'm just saying. Look, I started that sentence off by saying she's a wonderful actress because I've seen her where they actually let her act.
She's a
Was it
wonderful actress, but she's ugly as shit.
No, she's all right. Like,
Uglier
they did
than my fucking feet.
no, they did the same shit with Rachel McAdams back in the day with Mean Girls, and I'm like, why are you doing this?
No, well, here's the
You're
thing that's
picking
frustrating about it.
average people and then pretending they're like 10s.
Yeah, I'll give him that. Rachel McAdams was never really hot to me. She always got like this billboard forehead.
I will fight both.
Babe.
I'm sorry, but like,
Like if she would have came talking shit to me, I'd be like, man, get the fuck out of here with your fucking VH1 billboard sign head ass.
I know you're gonna talk about her.
Regina George, man.
I know you
I'm surprised you got hit by the bus. You should
you're
have
only
stuff on your forehead.
defending
and
her
shit.
because you love Mean Girls. That's the only reason.
And also, she's incredibly pretty.
She's all right.
Okay,
She's
can I
all
just
right
say
at
this
best.
really quick? I understand that we all have our tastes, but you told a girl she's a 6 when you're like a 2. Like, it's just like none of the men in this call should be talking about any girls' looks.
Yeah, I was on a good day, but no one's like the thing is, it's like you look at this gassing them up. Like, okay, is she a good actress? Yes, let her act more. The fact that they're trying to make her sex symbol blows my fucking mind because I don't fucking get it.
Are you mad because you can't be a sex symbol, Alan?
No,
You
I
got
just,
a mom.
like, no,
You
because
got a
like,
mom, bro. It's over.
Hey, I'm sorry, but like, no, like when I've seen Margot Robbie actually, act in movies. And then I see Wolf of Wall Street where it's like, hey, this person can actually act. Why not just let them act? Oh no, we got to sit here and make her half naked throughout the entire fucking movie and treat her as a trophy wife instead of actually letting her use her acting chops. Like I saw the movie Bombshell earlier. She was great in there. What is she doing? Once Upon a Time, fucking nothing. What did she do in Wolf of Wall Street? She was just naked 90% of the fucking film. It's like, yeah, I want something more out of this, and you're just gassing this person up, and I don't fucking get it.
No, in your opinion, here's the thing too. Like, I kind of agree with you in the sense of like, the gassing up shit. Because like, here's my issue when it comes to female actresses in general. It's like, and even male actors. For instance, Jason Momoa. I guarantee you, honestly, if he's given the right material, Jason Momoa will act his fucking ass off and do great, right? But it's because he's sexy right now. And it's like, that usually kills people's careers because Jason Momoa is going to get a ton of fucking movies and a ton of people are going to watch his shit. And then at some point, someone's going to be like, you know what? I think I just want to fuck him. I think he's just awful, though. Like, as an actor, it's like, why is he doing this? And it's gonna destroy everything where no one's gonna watch this shit anymore because it's like, oh yeah, look at fucking meatball, fucking Mr. Steroids guy over here. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. I was the same way with Zac Efron. I was like, this guy's a terrible fucking actor. But then I saw some of the time that they actually let him act, like that Netflix movie, Incredibly Vile, or whatever the fuck. That movie sucked. Yeah, Ted Bundy movie. That movie does suck, but he is great in it. They picked the perfect person. I wish the movie was better written, but they picked the perfect person to really exemplify what this person was like. Yeah, he nails the charm. He nails everything about it. But like every other time he's in a different movie, they're like, oh, look at this sexy guy, Zac Efron. It's like, he's all right at best, guys.
But you look at something like Megan Fox, and this is where me and Jet might even fight. But I think Megan Fox was a really big part of why I didn't like Transformers.
I'm gonna need you guys to stop disrespecting the hot bitches with the big foreheads.
I wasn't gonna bring for forehead this time, I promise.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw my hand in this. And besides Jennifer Body, anything she's been is kind of trash, and she doesn't have a personality in the film.
And here's the thing, I'll say this. Despite her forehead, I'm just going to pretend it doesn't exist. She is honestly very, very beautiful, and she's way above my league, and if, despite my whole forehead thing with her, if she was like, hey, you want to go on a date if I was single, I'd be like, fucking yes, of course. But my issue is, like, that's all she was. When you saw her in Ninja Turtles, she didn't do shit. She was just like, oh, help me, Raphael. And, like, she was cool in Jennifer's Body, but Transformers...
That ain't her fault that she was directed that way.
Well, she needs to go do some shit that's good.
I mean, yeah, I've never seen Jennifer's Body, but I've also never seen anyone that talked good about that movie either, besides Jet.
Me?
I did see, we watched this for Screener Squad. I can't fucking remember the name of the movie, but it was like
What? What happened?
Anyway.
You just snot fart?
I don't fucking know what he's saying. We watched this movie for Screener Squad.
If someone could rewind that, I could have swore he said Schmeener Squad, but if I fucked up and I heard something wrong,
did.
I'll put that on me. But Kirk, you're in there. Rewind.
Anyway, it was a South Korean movie, and there's just this war to happen, and Megan Fox plays a news reporter, and it's like, okay, you actually get a chance to have Megan Fox that's not in some like bikini or whatever the fuck, and like, hey, let's give her a chance to act. And she was utterly atrocious. She was legit some of the worst, not the worst parts of the movie, but every time she came on, I'm just like, oh God, okay, someone finally gave you a chance to show off, and I don't think you got anything there.
Yeah, because I don't know.
I had to reckon.
Yeah,
but like every movie though.
Yeah,
there are no good directors in Hollywood.
I said what I said, Alan.
Yeah, no.
There are no good directors in Hollywood.
No, because that's the thing. It's like Jennifer's Body is a situation where she played a role that made sense, and it was the writing that kind of fucking like made that good, and she did go with that character. My only thing is, I think that, and hey, like, you know, this is just talking about acting. We're not talking about her as a fucking person, but it's just like, dude, because I mean, for one, I think I would do the same thing she's doing. If someone's like, hey, Nick, crazy enough, everyone thinks you're hot. You want to just get $1 million for just sitting there with your stupid face? Yeah, sure, buddy. Like, I'll fucking pay for everything with your $1 million, sure. But my thing is, though, is like, you know, if people are kind of like, hey, like, don't talk shit about her acting, it's like, well, she needs to have the responsibility to take good projects. That's like another thing that you gotta do. It's like, that's why certain comedians will not do shit ever. They won't have the sitcom. They won't do a bunch of specials. They're like, hey, come see me and you'll love my fucking comedy. But then you get guys like Bill Saget who will just sell his ass damn near by being on America's Funniest Home Videos, Full House, this, that, the other, and it fucking...
You say Bill Saget?
Yeah.
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget, my bad.
Yeah, whatever, close enough.
I'm just sitting here just like, who's Bill Saget? Is that Bob Saget's fucking much less unsuccesssul brother?
No, but it's just like, certain guys will go out there
on less Full House.
But we brought it up earlier, even right before we brought up the Fraggle Rock thing, but, you know, Apple Plus, like, when Jason Momoa was like, I'm going to do C, you know, like, I just want to do that movie, or that show, whatever the fuck. It's like, dude, why did you say yes to that? Are you just picking shit because you're not going to be filming Aquaman 2 right now? Or you're not doing The Crow? Like, what the fuck?
He probably wants a steadier paycheck, and Apple Plus was like, well, we're going to pay you a lot of money because you're still a recognizable name. People know you from Game of Thrones, and Aquaman made $1 billion. You're a hot property right now. Let's give you a TV show so we can sell our network. And I don't know if it worked because I don't know a lot of people that liked it either. But it's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Give him a fucking show.
Yeah. But no, like, I mean, like I said, the guy is gorgeous, and, you know, I'm sure he's a good actor. If he plays Eric Draven from The Crow, you know what I mean, like, that, I think that'll be his chance to really shine. But, like, the guy ain't gonna get anywhere with this Aquaman shit. Like, I'm sorry, I know you like it and everything, but, like, this motherfucker's walking around with a trident thing, like, oh, I'm the fucking whatever the fuck of the water, and I'm gonna splash you. It's like, dude, fuck off. Like, fuck off. And
no, because the movie is successful. Is he gonna go anywhere from it? Who knows? Because superhero people in leading roles have a tough time finding careers no matter how successful their movies are, but he sold that role. He made that way better than it has any right to be. And a trident is a weapon that was used in the military anyway, so it's not like they just made it up for that character.
Yeah, but if people have guns and he's like, no, I got this, and pulls out a trident, it's like, what's next? You can pull up a fucking spoon to a shovel fight? Like, what are you doing? This is dumb.
We'll shoot at him all the time, and the guy's skin is strong as hell. So, and he wears armor all the time. These people are the bullets are gonna fucking bounce off of him.
Dude,
that's like saying the same thing.
How do you talk shit about Jurassic Park and all these things?
Because I could explain it, and the movie explains it. Wonder Woman is the same thing. Well, how is this woman gonna survive in World War when they have machine guns? Here's the No Man Land scene in which she just runs into a hail of bullets, and because of her armor, she's able to withstand it. Like, the movie explains this shit, whereas Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom thinks you're a fucking idiot.
Anyways, yeah, I realized we moved away from the whole judging characters thing, as Mauricio said, but here's the thing, though. Our appearances, my bad. Judging characters. No, we ain't even gotten to that shit.
Now we're going back to judging each other.
But no, like, I mean, I don't even really know what else to say to that other than the fact that it's like, yeah, dude, like, I mean, before she said that, we're talking about, Hollywood and old Hollywood and everything. There's actually a show that's coming out, and I guess there's a good opportunity to bring this up, but, like, this show on Netflix is actually called Hollywood. I mean, are you guys even interested in seeing, like, I mean, because we already know everything that happens. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I don't know everything in terms of like all the cultural significance of old Hollywood. Mostly because that's not my bread and tea when it comes to like history knowledge. I like to actually study things that affect people and the world around us, and could cause material conditions to change, and not just be fancy people in suits playing pretend in front of cameras. But in terms of like what's going on here, it seems like it's going to touch on the integration of Hollywood and the different civil rights acts that occurred there. Honestly, I'm not really interested in because it's pretty much going to be the same story you've seen anywhere. If you've seen one of these movies, you've seen them all. It could be from like the LGBT story of Milk all the way down to like anything with fucking MLK that came out from now to 2000. So I have no interest in this. This is just to make white liberals feel better.
Yeah, I mean, I like the actors are in there. I think that's Queen Latifah and Ryan Murphy, Ian Brennan, and I think the girl from Spider-Man: Homecoming, the Laura Harrier. We always call her Movie Alley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like all of them are gonna be in there, which is cool, but it's just kind of like once again, this is.
I got enough shit to watch, so I'm good.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just the whole Hollywood thing. It's like what Roxy was saying earlier, this weird thing of like you put art in a movie, and it's like, dude, that since it's art's in there, that means the whole thing's art and art. It's like no, it's just farts. Like it's fucking stupid. This whole thing is just overly saturated, and everyone has the same opinion because you're taught to have the same opinion. But with that said, Roxy, we're definitely gonna watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No, we already saw that fucking once. I'm not watching that shit again.
How about you, Jet? Want to watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Don't you want to listen to 70s music and the guy drive around like a Grand Theft Auto when you're bored?
All right, but you have to watch The Amazing Bulk, The Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, Jesus.
Good Burger, again.
I tried that. Good Burger was fine. Good Burger was fine.
Yeah.
You know the thing that sucks? I was like, I don't know what it is with my fucking mouth, but I always want to say Good Booger. Like, I don't know why it keeps, like, coming out like, oh, like, Good Booger, stupid. Fuck it. Yeah, man. People in the chat, though, they're saying, oh, yeah, Girl from Radio or Not. Yeah, she looks exactly like Margot Robbie. I don't know if you know that. Hugo Weaving's daughter.
Oh, Hugo Weaving's daughter? I didn't know.
He's your boy on The Matrix who fucking just chases after Neo all the time. But
Mr. Anderson. I know who Hugo Weaving is. I just didn't think he had a kid.
Yeah. One more thing to bring up because it's gonna be the only time that's actually trending, and I have no thoughts on this whatsoever because I haven't watched not even one of these fucking movies. But what are your thoughts, Alan, on Hunger Games coming back?
Oh, fuck Hunger Games. Hey, we're gonna talk about. No, I fucking hate it. Okay, controversial opinions. The Hunger Game books are fucking terrible. They were written by a fucking 4-year-old that was so desperate to make a movie that the entire book feels like it was written as a screenplay. It is so painfully dull to actually fucking read that I was clawing my fucking eyes out. And the only fucking reason I read it was, well, the movie's coming out, and I had this stupid notion of, well, the movie's coming out, I should read the book so I can understand some of the stuff the movie won't show. Maybe I'll like it. That book is 180 pages of the main character soliloquying random bullshit. And like, well, I could do this, but I could die anyway. I guess the world doesn't fucking matter because we're all dead anyway. I should save my sister. Yeah, I'll save my sister, but I'm gonna die anyway. I'm like, oh my fucking god! Like, stop thinking. You are bad at this. It is annoying to hear your thoughts. And then it's like 180 fucking pages, and then the actual Hunger Games starts, and it becomes a way better story because the narration is about the crazy bullshit that's happening, and not about the main character pretending she's Sherlock Holmes. And then the movie comes out. I'm like, oh, good. You don't have to hear the main character fucking internal thoughts. So it becomes a much better fucking movie, way better than the fucking book. And then I tried to read the second book and said, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Because like, I'm really shocked that you feel that way because I feel like you do like some of these things that are pretty popular, like Lord of the Rings stuff, and obviously
Never liked Lord of the Rings either.
Oh,
I got to
really?
rewatch it though. I watched it when I was a kid and just didn't care. Maybe if I watch it as an adult, I'll like it more. But I didn't like it when I first watched it.
So hopefully I don't piss you off, or I mean, I would imagine Guns and Rocks are into this too. So hopefully I'll make y'all mad. But it's like I like to pair these three movies together because these franchises are really really big around the time where I wasn't into movies as much, and it was. Hunger Games, Lord of the Rings, we just brought those two up, but the big one was Harry Potter. And I used to get these confused sometimes because I would watch these trailers and it's like, oh my god, there's that stupid orchestra, that epic, oh, go watch the next fucking fifth movie about these fucking kids.
First of all, you got that wrong. It was Hunger Games, 50 Shades of Grey, and Twilight.
No.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's
Fucking
not wrong.
I disagree with Jet. The only reason why I think that is because that whole like young adult fucking novel turned movie bullshit. That was a whole thing with Harry Potter as well. And I know that you're like, oh, I don't like Lord of the Rings, I don't like Hunger Games, but Harry Potter, I love that. It's like, I feel like when you first watched that movie and you got into the franchise and the characters, you were just in a good mood. Because how is Harry Potter amazing to you, but this other shit's bad?
Okay, so out of left field, Dick asks, how do people like Harry Potter but don't like Twilight and the Hunger Games and 50 Shades of Grey?
No, not Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey. I didn't bring those up. I'm talking about like the other two, like Lord of the Rings and Hunger Games.
Because the characters, you spend more time with the characters and actually get to know the characters a lot better. The thing about Legolas and Aragorn and all that stuff, they come across as everyone is the coolest person in the fucking world. But when you meet Harry Potter, he's a fucking doofus and he has his doofus friends. And then over the course of the first movie, they start to come into their own. And then when you get to the second movie, they're building upon everything that happens in the first movie, and it's a consistently growing, and it takes its time. It has action climaxes, but it doesn't seem like Lord of the Rings built itself on doing some of the crazy special effects that no one's ever seen before. Whereas Harry Potter was, we're gonna do the most amount of world building that no one's ever seen before. That includes building our characters. That way, by the time we get to the eighth one, you know everything you need to know about that world. You know almost every single law. You know the name of every single spell. You know every character. You know every background stuff. That way, when you walk into the eighth movie, it's essentially a giant action scene because you already know everything you need to know as you're working into there. With Lord of the Rings, like they do that, but it never got me. But Lord of the Rings, like, yeah, especially you're watching it as a kid and their kids as well, you instantly relate versus, pretty guy with long brown hair versus pretty guy with long blonde hair. It's like, you're going to relate to Harry Potter way more.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
All right. As someone who's watched Harry Potter, I do enjoy the series, mostly because I like magic and kinds of wizardry shit that is pretty basic, like Harry Potter's world is. But when it comes to learn stuff and stuff, like, we make fun of that all the time. So many people like try to base their morals off the Harry Potter series, and that just turns into where you get motherfuckers comparing like Trump to like that dude that's from Slytherin. But I honestly, man, like the series itself, I felt like it was kind of just the same kind of weak film to book series. Because yeah, we can watch it now, we can enjoy it all as just a single track film. But as us watching it as it was coming out, because I think I watched all the way to Prisoner of Azkaban, that's when I dropped out. It took forever to get to those movies. Every movie felt like it was separate, and you had to watch the book, not watch the books. You had to read the books for extra information for certain background characters, because the movie wasn't teaching you anything, so you had to get some more information. And then you have, J.K. Rowling and her bullshit, where she constantly changes lore on her Twitter at any will.
After the movies came out.
It's been after the movies, but like to be a fan of this series, it's constantly changing and evolving to the point that I don't know if anything that is established canon from the original book series or movies is going to stay the same, especially with them talking about making more Harry Potter series.
Yeah, but like, Ross, I'm gonna ask you: do you feel like I'm full of shit at all with the whole comparison of those three particular franchises? Hunger Games, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter.
No, you're gonna think what you think. So, in regards to the Lord of the Rings, I don't think I've ever seen a full Lord of the Rings movie all the way. I just couldn't sit through it. Like they just walk for 3 movies.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to Harry Potter, I enjoy the magic. I enjoy like the not cinematography. What's it called? Special effects. I enjoy like seeing the fantasy aspect of it. I like seeing where the world goes. If you've been to that world in Universal, just seeing it like IRL is fucking stash. It's like a fucking like it's fucking great. But when it comes to what was the third one that you said?
Hunger Games. That's what it was.
I did not like Hunger Games in the slightest. I didn't care for it. I mean, the memes are like fine, but that's all I really like about it.
No, the biggest thing to bring up too, because I had to bring this up,
Oh,
I guess, because it
like
came out.
to give you a bone, the only reason you got Hunger Games and possibly Twilight was because of the popularity of Harry Potter, and everyone wanted more stuff like that. That's why you got more stuff like that, like Maze Runner and all that stuff. All that stemmed from Harry Potter, less so from Lord of the Rings, because Lord of the Rings just inspired the idea of books. But like the young adult franchise started because Harry Potter was a young adult franchise and made like fucking hundreds of $1 million per movie.
I was gonna ask Jet really quick too. Like, do you feel like 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight kind of shit the bed a little bit for all these particular adaptations, where like they're gonna stop doing it as often? Because if you notice, like after Twilight and fucking 50 Shades, it's kind of stopped happening. Like
They're not gonna stop. Like if they're written decently and people are like going to see these movies, like they're gonna keep making them.
so,
I
she basically said,
disagree with the robot.
yeah. So her internet's messing up, but basically what she said, because I kind of understood. I'm starting to learn like bad internet jet now, but I'm gonna call it Interjet. Sorry, I really enjoyed that pun. Fuck you, Alan, for not laughing.
I will never laugh at your puns.
But no, but what she said basically is just like, yeah, she doesn't see that happening because yeah, they're gonna get. I mean, they've already done. I mean, here's the thing to something that I said, against myself. 50 Shades did have a sequel like what 2 years ago in 2018.
No, they had a bunch of sequels because there are 3 books. But the thing is I disagree, Jeff, because the reason they stopped is because okay. So Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, they start a trend. What happens as soon as someone does something super successful? Everyone jumps on that trend. So everyone wanted to do a book movie. So that's where we got Divergent. That's where we got Maze Runner. That's where we got 50 Shades, because everyone was trying to jump on what's the next Harry Potter / Lord of the Rings book series to adapt. Most of those fell apart. Like I think Maze Runner was really the only one to complete a trilogy. I know Divergent, after the second movie bombed so hard, they just split the second movie into a TV movie and just shat it out on television because it just wasn't making the money. Or Ender's Game didn't make any money. So they got to the point where these IPs weren't popular enough to bring people in, like Narnia, for instance. Like these things had established books, but nobody wanted to do it anymore because it required such dedication. You often had to sign actors to 3 or 4 or 5 movies, depending on it. They were always super expensive because they had to have like talking tigers and lions and all this crazy shit that you couldn't really do on a small budget. And eventually, like they ran that trend to the ground where you might get the occasional one, but you're not going to get as many as you did before because, yeah, people aren't going to want to put the money and time into there. They're jumping onto the next one, which was comic book movies. That was the next trend after that, where everyone wants to make their own comic book movie. That's kind of slowing down. What's happening next? People are going to jump on video game adaptations because they want that to work. The moment someone makes a good video game adaptation, Uncharted, Last of Us, anything Sony related is going to fucking get greenlit immediately.
To agree to somewhat with what Joe was saying, because I mean, I agree with you too, Alan, but the thing is, to prove what Joe was saying is like Maze Runner Scorch Trials, I think it was actually pretty successful. If not just for the box office stuff, it's people were like, holy shit, this was good. Like, and critics were like, holy crap, like, all right, keep it going. And it takes just one of those fucking movies to keep the fucking train going. And that's why we're in a situation now. Which is kind of funny you even ask Jet that, because I'm like, wait, hold on, like, the topic is Hunger Games is coming back. So I'm fucking stupid. Like, yeah, it's returning.
If
so
it comes back, it might not do well because I think a lot of people, like the third one made a lot of money. So it didn't matter how bad the fourth one had to do. But I don't think anyone liked that fourth one. It left on a bad note. It left on a note of why did you split this up? I don't think that this prequel. I think this prequel will get people their butts into seats and have a great opening weekend. But unless it's amazing, I think that movie's gonna bomb.
Well, you know what else is amazing though, Alan?
Me.
Yes, exactly. Because you had this new show out, and I want you to actually tell people where to find it and everything. You're gonna get the fuck out of here. So,
I was
where to
kidding.
find you?
Get up in there, Alan.
Go ahead. Alan. Tell them how you're gonna shit all on everything again.
Straight shit on him.
Fuck y'all. Any fucking way. Yes, we had a premiere of my episode Inside the Mad Scientist Lab. And as far as views, it did really, really well. I think we're like 80, 90 in one day, which was way more than I expected. So thank you for everyone that watched it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There are a few things that I wish I want to fix and some stuff, especially for the next few episodes. Like when I start, because I have ideas for at least 2 more episodes, but I want to write them out and just make sure they're good. We have different ideas on how to make the production look a little better. As far as any actual criticisms of how I tackle the subject matter, I'd appreciate that. So message me either on Twitch or personally, or even drop a message in the video itself and just let me know how it was.
Yeah. And where can they find that and find you and find Ganja and find.
Fine.
Alrighty then. For the people on Facebook, you already have access to the embedded links because they're right there on the page. For the people that are on Twitch and on YouTube, if you go to Facebook and write in the chat attack, you'll see the blue logo with all the symbols on it. And you'll see the embedded links to the Metropolis, where me, Ganja, and Ruthless talk about the politics and crazy bullshit that happened throughout the week. And yeah, I'll be releasing more episodes as they go by, and I'll be announcing it there as well as here.
Ganja Guru, tell them
And
where
of
to find you.
course, if you want to catch up to me, you can catch me on my Twitter
God
Red.
damn it!
I don't give a fuck. All right, you can-
Sentence.
look. Redundant. Twitter Red Ganja Guru. Go check it out.
Roxy, where can I find you with your crazy backdrops and the clown who clearly wants to rape you or whatever the fuck's going on back there?
What?
I personally think it's like Gary.
Yeah,
At
that's
least
what I'm saying.
This is my artistic rendition of Gary.
No, that's way less creepy.
No, Gary and that.
Gary's
thing are
fucking
equal.
creepy as hell, man.
But go, yeah, you guys can actually find her on what the spot the tiger.
Can I speak?
I'm sorry.
No.
Well, Alan interrupted you, so I thought I'd do it too, because that's how we roll here. We don't let the women speak. Go ahead, though, Roxy.
I'll kill you.
Okay. you can find me on Facebook at Roxanne Flores, or you can also find me on Instagram and the tweet hairs as Hochata, and you can find me on Instagram as Spot the Fox as well.
Yes, and then you guys can also find, if you look really, really deep inside the nostrils of this poor.
Oh God! Don't show her
fucking
page. Don't show her
thing.
page.
Yes,
Don't show her page.
You can find Jet right
Oh
over
God!
here.
Stop showing her page.
Oh my
Ah!
God. So
Sit there.
hairy and
I can
Booger.
breathe all the oxygen in the room in one fucking
drummer.
go.
Jet, is there any ETA on when you're going to change that?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Well, anyways, with that said, people, there's no ETA as far as when we're going to end, except for her going to be doing that breathing, and that's all good because boogers are disgusting. Especially on the Facebook pages. Looking out here, thank y'all for hanging out with us so long. Goodbye. I'm not rating anybody because no one gives a fuck. So good night.
No one gives a fuck about us.
Oh, we love you guys so very much.
Hate every one of you.
Well, Alan hates y'all.
Alan took him in the butt after Asian 15.
What?
What? Be nice to Alan. He's gonna shit on everything.
Shut the fuck up.